am speaking to Maria, Jose, and Ariel. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Great.
Hi, Amanda.
Great, we're good. Hi, Amanda. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Thank you for chatting with us on Ministry Monday. I have to say, I love technology. I know a lot of people probably know this about me, but I love technology because it brings situations like this together. So, of course, we are all in different places and different time zones, but especially Ariel is joining us actually from the Philippines right now. So, good evening, Ariel. Good morning to us. How are you over in the Philippines?
Hello. First, I want to wish you mabuhay from the Philippines. So, thank you, Amanda, for hosting us this time. Yeah.
We're so glad that you're joining us right now. We were joking before we started recording, that we are your past and you are our future, because right now for you, the local time is 9 in the evening when we record this. And for us, it's 9 in the morning. So, but thank you so much for joining us today to talk about several different topics, especially focusing on the AAPI community. So as we start, I just want everyone to kind of get a little bit of information on how each of you ministers. So where are you located? Ariel, where are you typically located? And what church do you serve in if you serve in a church? So we'll start with Ariel.
Hi, hello, everyone. So I'm Ariel Mayormita. I'm the music director at St. Joachim's Church in Hayward, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area, and under the Diocese of Oakland.
And thank you for joining us again from the Philippines. Jose, what about you?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas, at St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church there. I'm a volunteer musician, mostly playing guitar and trumpet. I also help a lot with our sound system, and occasionally lead smaller ensembles, like for retreats or our monthly holy hours. So here.
Nice. And Maria, what about you?
I am from South Jersey. I am Director of Music and Liturgy at Our Lady of Guadalupe in Lindenwold. And I actually work part-time there and serve another church in Camden, which is Sacred Heart Parish.
Very nice. Plenty of inclusion, of course, of many parishes in our country right now, different corners of the world as well. So thank you so much. I want to start our conversation by talking about the celebration of 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines. So we're going to dig into this quite a bit, but with some in mind, giving us a little bit of background of how Christianity was established in the Philippines 500 years ago.
Jose and I nominate Ariel for that. Because you're in the Philippines right now, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was actually at one of the old churches in Agoo, La Union. On our way back from the mountain province we stopped by a church in La Union, and it's beautiful. It's the Basilica of the Our Lady of Charity in La Union, and it depicts one of the old churches that has been built by the Spanish colonizers, the friars and all that. So going back to the celebration of the 500th anniversary, I think it started with Magellan. The King of Spain assigned Magellan to go to the look for other areas where they can find spices, and they ended up in the southern Philippines, and they planted the first cross there. They baptized the natives, and since then, the Christianity has been planted in the Philippines 500 years ago. So there's so many things that happened. Of course, the revolution, people not agreeing with the Catholic Church and things like that. But altogether, the Catholic Church, Catholicism that's brought by the Spaniards has influenced our lives here in the Philippines. And as a Filipino in the United States, we bring our gifts of faith our gifts of faith to not only in the United States, but wherever we go. The Filipinos, wherever we go, we bring our faith, and we always willing to share. And that's the reason why the one of the themes of the celebration of the 500 anniversary of Christianity in the Philippines is gifted to give, gifted to give. And I think we can talk more about how we can be a gift to the association, the national, and to the NPM, of course, and to where we are being assigned in the different churches in the United States.
I'd like to go to that, like you said. I think we're going to go to that a little bit later for sure. But I'm going to ask you one more question, especially since you're there right now, and you can share for those who are listening who may not know. What is the experience like of following one's faith tradition in the Philippines? How important is Christianity and Catholicism, especially in the Philippines today?
Yeah, well, 98% of Filipinos are Roman Catholics, and probably a small portion of the 2% is Muslim. The rest are, other Christian denominations. And with regards to your question about how influential is Catholicism in the Philippines, it is very influential. It is our life. It's basically the religion is it. That's it. Filipinos equals Catholicism. And it has influenced the way we live our daily lives. It has influenced our culture. It has influenced the food that we eat. It has influenced the educational situation, political, and everything else. So we just finished our the 2022 presidential and other local government elections, and the Roman Catholics has played a very important role in this election, and they have voiced their opinions and influenced, of course, the way people voted. Unfortunately, the candidate didn't win, but still, we have a voice in the political arena here in the Philippines. And as I was saying earlier, with the culture, and it is all centered in Roman Catholicism. It's all centered, with the different saints or the images of Jesus Christ. The first image or statue that was given to the king or to the queen rather, when she was baptized, is the image of the baby Jesus, the Santo Nino. And the baby Jesus, the Santo Nino de Cebu, is one of the images that is really bringing together or uniting the Filipino people, especially during the feast of the Santo Nino and the third Sunday of January. It is just but fitting, that the humility, the openness of the Filipino people, the hospitality that the Filipino people are really known for everywhere we go, is somehow connected to the baby Jesus. How open we are, how welcoming we are, just like Jesus Christ welcoming everybody when he was in the manger, and people go and worship him. So I think that has something to do with the belief and the influence of the baby Jesus of Christianity into the Filipino psyche.
If I may echo on Ariel's, on the question that Amanda gave us, I work among, I guess, 60-70% of Hispanic community in Lindenwold and in Camden. And because it's an influence that was given to us, because the Spanish Christians brought us Christianity, I have a personal experience with their faith also as well, that I experience week after week, that the Christianity that the Spaniards brought us is very, very, very real and felt, you know, in our society today. And all of you said, all of what Ariel said about baby Jesus, it's still happening. It never changed. So that is the gratefulness that the Philippines, I think, has for the influence of the Spaniards, Magellan, Father, I forgot the priest. We had a session in New Orleans, and we talked about that a lot. And it was very, yeah, the gift came from them. So it's like the unity is very, Amanda, what's the word I'm looking for? The unity is very realized
Mm-hmm.
among
Mm-hmm.
us in terms of following Christ.
Yeah, it's like Ariel said, gifted to give. There's this gift of faith. The Filipino people, as I've been learning, I was born here in the U.S. My parents were immigrants. So my childhood, I spent some summers in my childhood there. But after my dad passed away in um, 2009, I was able to make a number of trips there as an adult, and kind of learning about that heritage, seeing some of the old churches, and coming to the realization, oh yeah, a lot of the masses in the Philippines are in English, actually. So that's something you might not realize. Um, and my family actually has a connection to that history of the 500 years. My great uncle was Cardinal Santos, the late Cardinal Santos.
Mm.
So, you know, I remember in the summers, he had passed away when I was still young, but the faith in my family was still strong. Spending time at the cathedral in Manila, and some of the other historical churches up on the island of Luzon. Um, and then seeing some of those places now as an adult, and realizing that history is alive and carried through in the faith that the Filipino people have. And those of the Filipinos who have come to the US or other places in the world carry that faith with them. Many communities have Filipino communities within their diocese, and um, it, and bringing some of their traditions, like the Simbang Gabi, which we talked about in New Orleans last year. It's a beautiful melding of the cultures, and having that remembrance of what's practiced in the Philippines, but bringing it to your local parish culture or diocesan culture.
That actually is a
Yeah.
perfect transition to the second question I wanted to ask you, you
Mhm.
all, which is how can we, as a universal church, church in the United States, how can we embrace the AAPI influence, especially in our music and our worship, to really make sure that we really respect and celebrate the depth of that faith that you all just described?
It depends on where we are, I believe. It depends on our environment. Believe it or not, there's probably 30% of Filipinos in our church, where the community that I serve, and the blessing is probably, if your diocese has a wide number of, shall we say, ethnic culture. If the diocese, if you start on, it has to start on the leadership. And when a lowly choir director, music director comes up and to, propose this idea, like, how much support do we get? I think it depends on that. And then we as a small parish has to be strong and dedicated to make this happen, to make, say, a worship happen, a cultural festival happen, so, and our voices can be heard. I think it's the universal church should be aware of what gifts we have in our community, and then we have to come together and make them feel that we are existing. Did I make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
so.
The coffee,
Yeah.
the coffee.
Well, one of the things that in my experience, as a matter of fact, um, I think the day after the day when I arrived here in the Philippines, I got a call from someone from Kentucky, you know, who I connected with as we prepare for the API nights, in Kentucky, and she asked me, "Hey Ariel, you're Filipino. I'm Filipino, but you have more experience with regards to events, something like that." And I'm with the Archbishop right now. So can give us like ideas with regards to Filipino events that we can do, to share our culture and things like that. So I guess the awareness
Mhm.
of the Filipino people in the United States, with regards to sharing their culture, sharing their gifts of faith to the churches in the United States, um, is a one way of like evangelizing, and one way of sharing our gifts of
Mhm.
faith to um, to the American churches. It is important for us to, and we feel proud to share what our gifts of faith. And as I said earlier, um, it is the awareness, and at the same time the willingness to share what we have for others, um, that we will become an agents of unity, agents of goodwill for others, and probably acceptance of
Mhm.
multiculturalism in the American churches, I would say.
Mhm.
So I shared with her some ideas that we have, or events that we have done in my diocese. Being in the diocese of Oakland, we really did a good preparation and celebration of the 500th anniversary. 4 years before 2021, we started with a kick-off of our celebration, and then we started preparing for a colloquium where we um, assigned college university students to really dig on the question of who are we as Filipinos, you know, our identity as Filipino Catholics. What are we? What are our needs? Who we are? What are the things that we do? How do we
Mhm.
celebrate things? What are our values and all those things. So, and then we had a colloquium, and we had a celebration. We had celebrations of the um, uh, different saints, different traditions that we normally would celebrate in the Philippines, that we are celebrating now in the United States. So it is, and then the pandemic came when we're supposed to be celebrating the Filipino youth, but we weren't able to do that, unfortunately. But as soon as the churches opened in the United States, then we were able to gather again all the Filipino people in our cathedral in Oakland and celebrated, the 500th anniversary the way we wanted, considering all the restrictions of the pandemic. It's really uplifting. It's really uplifting to and being proud of being a Filipino, and at the same time opening up opening up our being Filipinos to other cultural ethnicities. Our Caucasian brothers and sisters, our Latino, Hispanic communities, and the Vietnamese communities, and our African American communities. Everybody, we used our celebration of the 500th anniversary to unite others and to make them part of that celebration, because everybody's actually celebrating. Our Filipinos, when Filipinos celebrate, everybody celebrates, especially when there is food and dancing and merrymaking. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah.
In my parish is predominantly white and Latina, but we have a number of we have a number of different Asian nationalities, myself included, attending, and a growing group of parishioners who actually came from Africa. I mean, they're immigrants from African countries, and so there's just what I like about my parish is we have this awareness that this is happening, and just trying to be welcoming to everybody, and trying to incorporate music, not necessarily to say, oh, let's have a mass where we have Filipino composers, but just trying to be open to music from different cultures and bring them in. And in our diocese, we have there's a Filipino parish here in San Antonio, and also a Vietnamese parish here. So I think at the diocesan level here in San Antonio, the leadership has been trying to find ways to be welcoming and inclusive of the different cultures, and I think goes back to what they said, is that the leadership needs to kind of be supportive of those efforts.
Which I think brings us to our last big question of today, which is looking at the leadership of NPM. Of course, all of us on this call are a part of NPM. So I ask you, how can the AAPI community of NPM be of help to us as a membership, us as an association, so that we can, again, be a more diverse community, really welcoming and truly acknowledging and celebrating all who come to the table?
I think I'd like to start with that. When I came to the United States in 2000, I think I was only one of the 3 music directors in my diocese who has a Filipino heritage. And since then, little by little, we started to grow. And right now, we are at least around 10, 15 people who are in the leadership, in music ministry in my diocese. And several others, or maybe hundreds of us, who are really Filipino heritage, who are very active in music ministry. And all of those 100 people, or more, are part of the Oakland Diocese NPM chapter. Okay, so but we are still working on how they can be members, national members, because we changed our way of membership. But I think the API community is, as I said earlier and mentioned earlier, that we can be agents, of diversity. Our presence in the American churches, or in our parishes and in our dioceses, would encourage other ethnic groups to participate actively um, in the organization, the NPM organization. Um, it before the pandemic, we have this celebration called Chatapwa. It's an Indian word of which means gathering of nations in my diocese, and we did that every single year, and we do it in different parishes in the diocese, and we encourage everybody to be part of it. And since 2008, 2009, I think it was, I've been assigned to do the music ministry for each of the celebrations. And I really made it a point that everybody sings together. We learn we learn Vietnamese songs. Everybody learns Vietnamese, everybody learns Tagalog, everybody sings Korean or Tongan, and I think with regards to diversity, that's what we are, a church that sings one music of praise. And I think as an organization or as an association, that we should be diverse. We should invite or encourage everybody to be part of it. But one of the things that I learned is it is very hard work, a lot of sacrifices, and I did that, and that's really one of my experiences working with other cultures, is being open, just being open for everybody, and let them express themselves, and let their music be our music. Let each of our music, even from different cultures, let that be the NPM's music. And that is, I think, very encouraging when we can bring people together, singing one song of praise to God. I think that would be very, very, I would say, fulfilling for us if we could bring together musicians or singers, instrumentalists from different cultures.
I have been with NPM for 25 years. I must have missed 3 of the conventions within the 25 years. And my growth, I have been very, very blessed to be with NPM as a great tool for my growth as a Catholic, as a director of music, as a director of liturgy. All the privileges that our minority section, when we started in 2011, actually in Kentucky, that was when Father Ricky and our API members gathered and talked about, okay, we have to plan for our section because he's done, his term is done, and what do you guys think? So all of us were gathered there, and we were so excited. Okay, what is in store for us? And I have to say, NPM has been so good to us. NPM leaders have been so attentive to our needs, and to be honest, it was hard, it was slow, it was a tedious process, but we were patient. Jose, Ariel, and a lot of our members have been there for us. So what is it, like 12 years later, 11 years later?
Wow.
We thrived. I have to say, Amanda, this is so helpful for us, with you being with us, since we started, you and our section produced all these services, and how the NPM community uh, become aware of our existence as a little section, and then we grew. And when Berta has been with us, and I have to be thankful to her for bringing us all together, and giving us the opportunity to show our gifts, to share our gifts. And we have been very, very inspired with that. And you never stopped. Thank you so much for NPM. And also um, teaching us how to be, like Jose said, like, all are welcome. And we really are that way with everything. Everywhere you see us, like I saw your podcast, and I said, I actually emailed you right away, and I'm very grateful for that, when you said their joy is contagious. And it's really true.
It's true.
It's really true, because NPM is my, I look forward to this every year, and they know I'm gone for a week at the convention. Okay, where is the convention this year? All of my parish members know where the convention is every year. But like, that being said, what can NPM, how can NPM help us? Your question is, you have been doing it. If NPM actually always give us time, give time for us to listen, and really help us cater to the needs of our local and chapters and national communities, which they are actually doing now. We are very, very aware of what the leadership is doing now. Jennifer, Jeremy, Meg, all the boards, Valerie, everybody. Now that I have the opportunity to lead the diversity forum, it's really a great opportunity for all the cultures to be together. So actually, NPM is helping, and we pray that it just grows. It just grows, and they become more open. The meetings are good. The Zoom meetings, the regular communication, I really appreciate the regular communicating. So this is how NPM is helping us right now. So I pray and hope that it will not stop.
I hope so too. Any closing thoughts, Jose?
Yeah, and I want to kind of bounce off a little what Maria said. The NPM has been very helpful for us, in paying it, being able to give us a place to voice ourselves as Asian Pacific Islands, as AAPI. There was a stretch of time as a member of NPM that I wasn't able to make the conventions, but when I was able to, I slowly got introduced. I slowly met a few people from the Philippines here and there, and someone introduced me to Maria at one point. Then and I started having this awareness. Oh, there's this whole intersection. So eventually, I got pulled in, and I think Maria and Ariel, in particular, as two of the stronger leaders within our section, they stuck with it. They put the effort to make sure that we were heard, and I think that's something that our other cultural communities can maybe take to heart, and especially when, like Maria said, she's now has this opportunity to lead the diversity forum, and maybe something we can encourage from there is that, hey, we're we're a church of multiple cultures, and in one faith, and worshiping the same one God, and if there is to some extent, if we want our voice to be heard, we need to put the effort to do that, to show how that not necessarily just to showcase us, but to show how we worship together with the different cultures, whether we do that locally at our chapter or region levels, or at national, at the conventions. That's it's something that the membership has to take to heart also.
Also, I want to mention too, I think this is a good time to do it, that there is an opportunity coming up for those going to the convention. Ariel already alluded a little bit to it, but there is going to be a concert event on Tuesday night at 7:30 at the convention. It's called Many Colors, Many Stories, One Voice, One God. Do any of you guys want to just give a brief little preview of what it will entail?
Well, it's going to be a night of music, of songs from from different cultures. There will be different artists from different ethnicities who will be presenting, and the local chapter, people from the local chapter will be highly represented in that celebration. So I've been working, Maria, myself, and Jose. We already have been in, preparing with the local chapter there, Filipino people who are there and who will be helping us. And I think it's going to be great. So come on, guys, join us in Kentucky. Join us in Louisville this June.
I'm
Should
very
we
much looking forward to it. Go
should
ahead.
we say who are coming? Should we say the artists who are coming?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Sarah Hart is performing. Tony Alonso, Peter Kolar, M. Roger Holland, Santiago Fernandez, and our Asian
Ricky.
Pacific par excellence members, Father Ricky Manalo and Brother Rufino. Brother Rufino, our Filipino, Brother Rufino Zaragoza is a Filipino citizen, but he claims he's Vietnamese. But you can tell.
I am so looking forward to this concert event for the convention.
We're so
Well-
grateful to you because you bring us to the people, and hopefully the people watch this and even if they're quiet, they know what's going on, because the virtual offer that we have, it's actually very, very amazing that people can see and what happens the week after. I think that's the best thing that will ever happen, because the people in person can also see what happened. You know what I mean? Like, we're always there,
Yes.
we don't know what's going on, so now we can participate on the virtual.
Well, that's
Conference.
another reason that I really like this year, like you just said, because we are recording your concert. And so if you're even in person and you miss it, you can watch it through September 30th. But then also the following week, we made like a small virtual convention schedule. So it's not, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. like when you're in person. But it's from like 12:30 Eastern to like 9 o'clock Eastern. And we're replaying this concert. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to also the virtual convention and the replay. But I also just want to thank you to wrap up. I want to thank you three for all of your work, not just today. Thank you so much, of course, for being on this recording and this conversation. But thank you for your constant work to bring your radical hospitality, which is so apparent, and your faith to us as well. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing, and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you, especially.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you in Louisville.
Yes. God
See ya.
bless.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.